皆さんこんにちは and welcome to Shogo's podcast. So today I would like to answer one of the questions that I've received before. So in my past videos and in one of my past podcasts too, I think I've talked and mentioned many times that Japan cannot solve its social problems or it's facing a lot of social issues, or for example, the politicians will not try to save Japan or the younger generations because Japan is an aging country where the average age is about 48.4 years old, I believe, and it's actually the world's highest age. So many people who are allowed to vote, have the right to vote, will vote for their own good. Yes, and not consider the happiness or the future of the younger generations. And that's the reason why the politicians will not use more money for education. They'll use more for health or for hospitals and things like that. And yeah, so I talk about this quite often. And then once I talked about these things, though, I received a lot of comments saying that, well, Shogo, my country has quite a lot of elderly as well, older generations, the older people, but they care more about their children's or grandchildren's lives or future. So, to be honest, saying that Japan is facing a lot of social problems and Japan is not willing to solve them, because Japan is an Asian country is definitely not a very good explanation. It's definitely not, enough. And I was thinking about this. It's definitely true. I'm very sure it's not an easy thing, to understand, right? It must be very complicated. But also at the same time, I think in Japan, the situation with the elderly is a little bit different because of its historical background and also its social characteristic as a group of people, Japanese people. So I thought of three reasons why it seems like the elderly are basically abandoning the younger generations. Yeah, so I thought of three reasons to basically kind of answer, these comments, the questions I've received before. And the three actually are, number one is the elderly, the older generations, first of all, do not know that the younger generations are suffering that much in the first place. Number two, because Japan is such an up-down community, a society, if that makes sense, the subordinates, the lower ranked people must always obey the higher ranked people. This kind of system is a little bit different from different social systems or characteristics. And number three is also something that I talked about before in my video where I talked about why BUSHIDO will ruin Japan. It comes from Japan's collectivism society mindset where basically everyone being the same is more important than everyone succeeding together, which means if everyone's going down together, that's okay because everyone is there together with you. Yes. So let's break down each reason. Yes. So number one, the elderly, first of all, doesn't know that the younger generations are suffering that much. Yes. I think they probably would be seeing, like, for example, news on TV or maybe possibly on the internet too if they are able to use smartphones and computers. But for example, my grandparents' generations who are in their 70s, 80s, or maybe possibly in their 60s, around there, they are the people who grew up right after World War II. Yes. So they might know about the younger generation suffering and things like that. Oh, and by the way, in Japan, about 20% of the population in Japan is older than 65 years old. Yes. So these people, they might see, like my grandparents living in Kyoto, they might see, the younger generations are being underpaid, they are killing themselves because of suicide, maybe the bullying on the news and things like that. They might think, oh wow, the younger generations are having a very hard time too. But because life is just so much better compared to when they were in their 10s or 20s, they just would think, well, we suffered something a lot worse than the younger generation today. So they don't take it that seriously, to be honest. They might think, oh, wow, that's really, sad. I really feel sorry for you guys, but that's it. well, guys, live with it. We live with it, our troubles too, kind of thing. Yes. So, because I've never heard of any of my, people in my grandparents' generations talking about we need to do something for our society for the younger generations at all. It's just we suffer too. You should suffer as well. You should, overcome it. That's what young people should be doing, kind of thing. Yes. So that's number one. Number two, again, on the Japanese system, the society is we say in Japanese up down. So it means that the senpai, the sensei people, the higher rank people are absolute, It comes from the feudal eras in Japan, you have a lord, you have subordinates, the samurai kind of relationship as well. But in Japan, because the younger generations or subordinates, people in these lower rank positions must always obey the elderly, the senpai, the superiors, there's actually a saying that goes, if your senpai or someone higher than you says a crow is white, it's white. Yes. Because crows are obviously black, right? They're black birds. But if your senpai says it's white, then it's white. So if this represents how much you need to always constantly obey your senpai or the superiors. And many of these kind of characteristics, thankfully, fortunately, are changing in Japan, but the fundamental parts, as I explained in many of my videos, for example, the phrases you shouldn't use to your boss or, so on and so forth, it of course still exists. Yes, it'll probably take a lot more time to be completely gone. Yes, because we still teach it at school. We teach it in our club activities, at school. And the system still exists. Yes, using keigo and always bowing a lot to your senpai and things like that, right? So the thing is, everyone who are in the higher rank today have basically endured being in the lower rank, trying to, be enduring all the obeying and, doing exactly what you're told kind of thing. And after many years, you're finally in a higher rank. It's finally time for you to be the king. This is how generations have changed through Japan. The people in the lower rank, the reason why they were able to live with it, endure it, and bear it is because they knew that eventually, if they bear these few decades, they'll be able to be in the senpai rank, the superior rank, and then it'll be their time to act like a boss, they'll act like the superior, and you get to have a lot of people obeying you. Yes. So that's what's going on. So you can understand that more than half of the people in Japan are around 50 years old, and only about 20 to 30 people are considered young in Japan right now. But there's this huge population of people saying that, yes, we are finally bosses now. We are superiors. The younger generation, you must always obey us and make us feel good. Yes. But taking a look at the situation right now, there's this really, really big population of old people and small population of younger people. So obviously all of the, the stress and all of the problems will be shoved against this really small population of younger generations. So again, the idea comes back to the first one as well, but the idea is you're a kohai. You're a junior right now. You are a subordinate right now. That's how it should be. It might be hard, you might be suffering, but that's how I lived my life too. And that is how your 20s, your 30s should be like. Yes. Or 10s, 20s too, yes. So no one thinks that, oh, wow, the younger generations are suffering a lot, we need to help them. No, it's like, well, that's like the route you should walk through. That's like the normal path that everyone walks. That's what I did. And that's the reason why I get to act like boss now, right? Yes. So you should treat me like king, kind of thing. I hope this makes sense. Yes. So that's the reason number two. Number three, again, basically when I explained about it earlier, I explained everything. But again, as I talked about in my video, why Bushido will ruin Japan, I explained that Japan is a collectivism society. Yes. And collectivism means that the society cherishes the group more than individuals. Yes. So this also brings the ultimate, well, I guess you could say the worst form of it is if everyone, this is an example, if everyone is jumping off a cliff together, that's okay because we're doing all this together. Yes. So the point is, that if we're all going to be suffering together, if it's together, whether it's suffering or being happy together, it doesn't matter. Everyone being the same is more important than anything. Yes. So, for example, I always talk about this example, but during the World War II war eras, there are, of course, many people who are against the wars too, yes, because, of course, their young sons, like in their 13 or 14 years old, will be taken to war and have to ride on these airplanes that they will absolutely know they will die. And the people, though, who went around the neighborhood to capture these boys and take them away from the mothers or the sisters, yes, were actually the mothers who originally had their sons or brothers, husbands taken away from them. Does this make sense? It means I suffered, you should suffer too. Kind of thing. It wasn't the army, it wasn't huge men that went around the neighborhood to forcibly bring these young boys to the battlefield. It was actually the other mothers who originally suffered from having their husbands or brothers and sons taken away from them. Yes. So this is the idea of, let's just say, ultimate collectivism, which existed in Japan in the past. Again, as I explained in the video, society is changing in Japan too, yes. But for the elderly, for the older generation, is definitely not changing that much. In my generation, if you watch a lot of my videos and come to Japan, you probably notice that people in my generations are definitely changing, yes. It's becoming a lot more easygoing, a little bit more flexible, it's a lot easier for us to live, I guess, yes. But the older generations, older than 40 years old, they still linger on to these kind of old ideas. Now, I'm not here to say that everything is bad. Of course, in the past in Japan, there might have been a time that this system was better than today, yes. And of course, if we, like for example, completely shift to individualism, of course, there will be other problems that will happen as well, yes. But what I'm trying to say here is, this is the answer to why the elderly it seems like the elderly are banning the young. Yes, it's because of these legacies, you can say, from the older systems that existed in Japan. Yes, so these are the 3 reasons that I got to so far. Now, of course, I will continue studying every single day so I can get to new conclusions, new ideas and such. But so far, these are the 3 reasons that I've got to, yes. Please let me know in the comments about what you think about these things. I would love to know. The biggest problem with me is that I haven't studied enough about how culture, how social systems are outside of Japan. I did, an okay amount of studying for Japan, yes, to talk about it, yes, or being able to, take part in the discussion. But definitely not enough about other countries outside of Japan. So it'd be great if you can let me know. Is it the same in your country? Is it different? Or were there parts that you didn't understand or you disagree with? It'd be great if you can let me know in the comments. Yes. And I just really, really hope that Japan will be able to improve a lot of its social problems, try to face it and not just say that, well, this is how it should be kind of thing. Yes. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. So then, as I always say, the ultimate dream. I always say this incorrectly. The ultimate goal of my life, the ultimate dream of my life, is to make all Japan lovers' dreams come true. Yes, I know that there are a lot of people outside of Japan who want to study Japanese, come to Japan to travel and see the nature and things, and also train in our traditional culture, right? Yes. But as we talked about today, there are many problems going on in Japan. We're losing our traditional culture, and again, the younger generations are suffering from the negative legacies of old Japan's culture and systems. Yes. So I'm really afraid that Japan will not be able to provide these dreams, make everyone's dreams come true in the future. Maybe we won't have the nature or the traditional buildings or culture anymore in the near future. So I want to dedicate my life to try to make Japan a better place by solving the social problems, preserving and evolving the traditional culture, and also helping out the younger generations so they can live a better life. Yes. And I know this is what I'm talking about, when I talk about my dreams. I know it's something really, really difficult. It's not easy at all. We don't know, no one knows. There is no perfect system in this world, as I always say. Collectivism has never been perfect. Individualism has never been perfect. We always try to have to search a good balance, but where is that balance? Trying to take a balance out of two things is always really unbalanced and unstable, right? Yes. So I know it's really difficult, but that's the reason why I want to dedicate my whole life to try to doing this. Yes. And anyways, trying to do anything, I need my first step. I need a fundamental base of all my activities. So that's going to be my main channel, YouTube, Let's Ask Shogo. And the goal of my channel is to achieve 1 million subscribers by January 2023, by the end of next year. So it'd be great if you can help me out by giving me likes and comments in my videos. That will help to boost my videos to new viewers who have never seen my channel yet. So it'd be great if I could have your help. And if you'd like to help me even more, it'd be great if you can join my membership, my main channel too, which you can jump from this description box as well from this video. In the membership, I always have limited videos and also weekly live streams where I talk about everything, literally all what I'm thinking about right now and all our future plans and everything, I think a lot of things that I won't be saying outside of membership too. So if you're interested in our future plans and what we're up to, it'd be great if you can join the membership as well. Okay? Everyone, thank you so much, and I'll be waiting for your comments. どうもありがとうございました。